So the last time we spoke, it was about the Fern. Hey everyone, it's Tristan from Crafting Worlds, and today we are going to be doing due diligence. Now, as we all know, chairs are subjective. I wanted to really make sure that the assessment of the Fern from Haworth was accurate. So I placed a second order for a chair with different materials and a different makeup and different functionality, like no lumbar and a headrest. These are things that are very subjective to very different individuals and can change dramatically how you experience your chair. I also want to make sure, because apparently the chair space is quite, how do I put this? People in the chair world, like the chair review world, are not very kind to one another. So I wanted to put to bed some of the weird comments that I got on Reddit for, making a chair review with my own, my own personal opinions. Sorry I offended you. I hope that you are having a better day, BTOD. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the Halo X edition of the Fern by Haworth. Now, why did I go with this, you may ask? Okay, so there's a couple things I don't think a lot of people know when they're looking at the different breakdowns, because the fabrics are labeled in a way that you think there's something else. So for me, mesh is like my Herman Miller, but this is mesh on this one. And I'm sorry, but this is not actually mesh. And I'm gonna get a close-up of this for you. So this is actually like a soft, plushy material, whereas this is a hard material. And this isn't your hard mesh. It's almost as soft as the digital knit. It's only mesh by the fact that it has holes in it. It's just this nice soft t-shirt-like material. I mean, it's a little harder than a t-shirt, and you can definitely feel the plastic ribbings back here, but it feels nice and it feels airy, and it has enough support when you're leaning into it, and it's good. It's good. It is reasonably good. It's not amazing. It's not super soft, but it doesn't have to be, because it's open, it's perforated, it allows air in, and it does what it's supposed to. The only thing I can think of is that because the Fern kind of like narrows as it goes up, I can feel the structure of the chair on the sides in my shoulders, on the back when I move around. But end of the day, like that doesn't make me feel uncomfortable in the chair. It's just something I noticed versus the digital knit. The other thing I noticed versus the digital knit is that this feels as though it fits the chair better. It's not coming out. It's not in a weird, it doesn't look badly, like the seams look excellent. The seams are just wonderful. They're stitched well. They fit the chair properly. On the digital knit one, they were like hanging, and it didn't look like it fit the chair properly. It feels like they stretched this better, so it's tighter, it's tauter. It is a better fit for the chair than the digital knit. The digital knit often looked like it was an afterthought and like it was just like off kilter and like it was moving. This stays where it's supposed to and just is nice. Most people were saying, oh my God, you have to get the digital knit. It's the best one. It's the softest. It's the most comfortable. But for me personally, which I think a lot of people are missing out here, is that I didn't like the feel of it. Yes, it was cushy, sure, but it had a weird texture on my back. I was not comfortable with it, and it was also riding my shirt up, which I looked up later on just to see if other people had this issue, and they did. So I thought about it and I was like, okay, well, let's reconfigure. Let's reconfigure based off of what you need. And knowing that this was more of a cloth-like material, I was like, all right, let's try the mesh back. But I didn't want to downgrade my chair, because the chair, the mesh chair on the Fern, I really, really disliked. And there's no other options other than leather or that. And if you spec out a leather fern, you are looking at $1,990 if not on sale. It's because you get a leather back, a leather headrest, and a leather seat. There is no way to configure it to be like this. And that's why I chose this Halo edition, because it also comes with a headrest, which we'll get into as to why this is like the worst headrest in the world. But it does still do its job. And if they made a change to this, I think this setup right here is the perfect Haworth Fern setup. And with the current sale they have going on, which is literally 20% off, you're looking at $1,100 for the whole setup. And that is starting to get into an affordable range for a chair like this. It doesn't change a lot of the things that I said before. There are still some major flaws in this chair that I just cannot overlook. And by the time you see this video, this chair will be going back. I can't get over a lot of the things, and I'm going to explain those to you in a little bit. But let's talk about the good things first, because the experience on this particular chair has been exponentially better than the previous one. And the number one reason for that is this leather seat. So they don't even advertise this, by the way, on the website, that this is actual leather. A lot of people think that it's synthetic leather. I even watched a bunch of reviews on YouTube just to see if I could figure out if anybody knew. Everybody was like, synthetic, no, it's leather, no, it's synthetic, no, it's leather. It's leather. It's 100% leather. It smells like leather. It feels like leather. Actually, it feels like, if you've ever been in a BMW, it feels very similar to BMW's leather. They have a soft, beautifully made leather that just feels right. And it's like, it's smooth, but it still feels like leather. It's still durable like leather, but it has this smooth, soft texture. Like, it's really nice to touch. Sitting on this coming out of the shower, super comfortable, very, very enjoyable. Like, wearing any type of clothing, this seat is hands down the best seat for the Haworth Fern that I can think of. I don't know why anybody would go with anything but leather, because this is a fantastic breathable leather. It is just so soft. It's wonderful. It is a wonderful seat. It could get hot over time, but man, stand up for 3 seconds and the seat cools off. I love sitting on it. It holds you, it feels nice, you do not slip off. I have like joggers on that are pretty slick, and if I were to go into the forward tilt, like I'm not gonna fall off this chair. This is a very, very, very nice leather, and it just, I don't know, it's very enjoyable. And I have a theory on leather seats versus fabric seats. I truly believe that because of what leather is made out of, which is a denser material, as you're sitting, it doesn't let the foam expand as much over time. What I have not experienced, which I did experience in my previous Fern review, was bottoming out. I have not bottomed out on the leather seat. It just feels nice all the time. And it feels fantastic with the one-legged position that I like. It is so soft. It really, I honestly, I cannot praise this seat enough. It's one of the most comfortable seats I've sat in a long time when you change it to this leather. It is soft, it's cushy, but it is firm enough so you are not bottoming out after long gaming sessions, long editing sessions, whatever. It just feels good. End of story. I cannot say that this is a bad seat anymore, as long as you get the leather. So, look at that. One change to one material has already changed how I feel about the seat of the Haworth Fern. Subjective, right? It's all subjective. It's all how we perceive what we like. So if you like a smooth and a soft seat and something that's going to not feel bottomy out, this is it. But if you don't want that leather back and you don't want to pay $1,990, get out of here. Xbox series and the Halo series come with the leather seat, and they come with the mesh back, or they come with the digital knit if you like the digital knit. I don't, so I didn't go with the Xbox one. And they allow you to get it for a lower price. So currently both of those 20% off would be $1,100. It's still expensive. It's still expensive, but it's starting to get more reasonable. And that's important. Let's chat about the headrest. Okay. The way that this headrest is, because it protrudes forward and it's not behind or like it's not concave, hoodies ruin the experience. Really, they do. If there's any fabric piling up back here, it ruins the experience of this getting into your neck. And it's supposed to like hold in there, and it just kind of messes that up, unfortunately. And the material that they made the headrest with is the same as the chair, and I think that was a mistake. The softness of that chair, this being leather with a nice stitching here, would have been perfect. It would have lasted longer. I feel like this is gonna get worn out very quickly because it's all just kind of paper mache-like. Like when you push on it, the cushion isn't there. Like if they took this leather, the softness of that and the stitching would have been so beautiful, and it would have been a really nice accent to complete this chair. But I feel like they chinsed out on this. And the other thing that you don't really know and they don't tell you is that if you get a chair with a headrest pre-installed, you cannot get one from Atlas Headrests because there is a hole in your chair where they cut out a place for this headrest to sit. So there's literally a hole where they put plastic, which allows it to do these, these adjustments. So if you wanted the Atlas headrest, you could, but there's gonna be a plastic thing protruding here that you're gonna hit. That's not gonna feel good for anyone. So unfortunately, if you do get this combination, which I think honestly, this and the Xbox, depending on if you want the mesh or the digital knit, are the best combinations out there, you're stuck with this headrest until maybe they hear this feedback and they change it, or they give you, this is easy to take off, and so you could get a replacement headrest. However, if you wanted to just buy a leather headrest, the leather headrest is like $300 extra. That's why this chair, like if you're all leather, is so expensive. It's $300 for the freaking headrest. That's insane. This thing is literally made out of like cardboard. Ugh. It is not, it does its job, but poorly. And so you've got this amazing like seat made out of beautiful leather, and then you've got this headrest that just, I don't know what they were thinking. But it does work. It does work. I can't say it doesn't work. And I can't say it's that uncomfortable that I would prefer this versus nothing, but I would prefer an Atlas headrest versus this. So, okay. A lot of things have changed here. I like the seat. I don't feel like I'm bottoming out. I'm not sliding off. I don't feel like I'm getting pushed out. Oh, why is that, Tristan? I didn't get lumbar. I didn't get lumbar. And let me tell you something. I didn't think the lumbar was terrible on the back lumbar. I think the design of the chair, it's a bit low for where this curve is for your back with the natural lumbar. But I didn't think that the mechanism was terrible. I just didn't think it was very useful. It was literally tied into the back on how high and how low you could go. And it just wasn't comfortable, and it wasn't too aggressive. Like, it was aggressive, but like for me, I like aggressive lumbar. So to me, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. And it definitely, I don't know, I just felt like I was falling out of that chair. I do not have that feeling anymore. And I think that has to do with the smooth back not being the digital knit and feeling as though I can actually feel the chair, and I can feel the way the chair, angles with my body a lot better. The digital knit gave it like this weird bumpy feeling because it's really thick. And that's why people say they like it and that it's plush. So for me, subjectively, I don't like that feeling because it doesn't then feel like I'm in the chair, like it's hugging me, like it's holding me. And so while it's still not doing that, without the lumbar support, you're missing out on structural integrity. So let me explain that. You can see that when I push on this, the back flexes quite a bit. So when you lean back on this, you actually feel as though there is like a gap, like it's loose. You feel like it's loose. You can see how it's, because the cloth is not attached to this. So it feels like the chair is just kind of loose. And that's a weird feeling, to have the back of your chair feel loose. And so without lumbar support and without that digital knit, the back does have this weird, like, I don't know, it just feels like it's a give, like a weird give. And I don't know how to explain it other than, like, if you look really close here, how much that gives. Like, it just feels like you're kind of falling backwards for like a millisecond, and then it catches you. I did find a solution to the no lumbar that is way better and way cheaper than their lumbar solution. I'm gonna link this in the description below because I think this is a must-have accessory for the Fern. And so I was looking on Reddit for, like, what can I put back here? And there was like a bunch of links for IKEA pillows. And so I looked at kind of what the shape was, because they don't make it anymore. And I found one that's a little larger, fits the area better, and looks nice too. I don't want my chair to look crappy, right? So I found a nice memory foam pillow that goes in the back here. It fits absolutely perfectly. You can adjust up and you can adjust down, and it gives the back a little bit more structural integrity that it was missing, and it is a nice conforming lumbar support. So it fits you, and then as you lean back, because it's memory foam, it hugs you. So you push it in, and so you get that like nice U shape where it holds you in. So you're not falling left, you're not falling right. And to be honest, the $10 pillow is better than the lumbar that comes included. So if you're thinking about getting this chair, get it with no lumbar and get this pillow. I'm telling you, it is fantastic. As you can see, continuing, my experience has gotten so much better with this chair just from a couple of modifications. Now, mind you, you're paying a lot of money. This is what really kind of bothers me about this chair. You're paying, and this is why it's going back. You're paying a lot of money. That's not the only reason it's going back, but like this is one of them. You're paying a lot of money and you have to go and you have to DIY it to like work versus what they offer. Because if you buy what they offer, it's overpriced and it doesn't quite work properly. And then if you DIY it with a pillow, it works a lot, but it's weird. I don't like that. That's just awkward. Now let's talk about the arms. They are still a major problem. Actually, this one is worse than the one I had prior. Man, I told you that these arms slide easily. I wasn't kidding. Let me take these off. We'll talk about these in a second. But when I said that like these were hard and uncomfortable, I meant it. They are still hard and uncomfortable, hence the pillows. But the other thing is whenever you get in and out of the chair, if you are like me and you use your armrests to do that, watch this. Oh, so I went to get up, right? Like I put all the pressure on the arms, they slide. So let's say this is your position. You've picked this as your position at your desk. You're happy with this. You're like, this is it. And then you're like, oh, I gotta go pee. Oh, shit, everything has just changed. The whole thing has changed. Nothing locks, nothing. It is so easy to move these things. Like I could just, with my finger, like I could just, look, it's like, it's not even like, I'm not doing anything, and it's just it's too easy to move these. They gotta tighten these up. And that shake, I was told by some people that that is because my arms were too high and that my shoulders were in the wrong spot. But let me show you something, you people. When these arms are as low as possible, okay, and you shake them, not even a lot of weight, there's way too much jiggle. That is all the way down. No armrest should have this much jiggle on this. And then when you go up, just a little bit halfway, there we go. way more. And then all the way up, like, you're never gonna do that, but holy crap. So they should know that at this point, it starts to lose structural integrity. We shouldn't allow it to go up to this point because then it's just ridiculous. So if we lose structural integrity at this point, we stop manufacturing to this point, or we fix the manufacturing problem. I don't know. I feel like that's simple logic that they're just not adhering to. And I hope that they see this and I hope that they change it. Because this combination of chair, to me, is a great chair that I could get behind recommending, except for some of these big flaws. And these armrests are a big flaw. So when I sat at my desk for a couple days with these armrests, I was so uncomfortable. I was literally getting aches on my elbows. And I'm not, look, man, I don't care who you are. If you lean over a little bit at your desk, it's gonna start to hurt a little bit. So if you don't have good cushioning like the Aeron does, you know, you're screwed. So once again, DIY, I got these Alaudi, oh my God, these were like 10 bucks too, off of Amazon. And you put them over and there you go. You've got a nice cushioned armrest. And fortunately, it still works with the 4D because of the way that the cloth is. And if anything, actually it tightens the arms a little bit because it's giving it some give with that cloth because there's cloth on the bottom here. And so it can only pull so much. So you're getting a little bit extra tension, but like you're still, when you stand up, you're still going forward. So even if I went to sit down, so I'm gonna go sit down, right? And I'm gonna grab my arms and I'm gonna, man, I just ruined my settings. And it's not even like you do that, you see how easy that is? Like I sit down, right? You sit down, you're gonna go working, you go to turn, oh, you go to turn, and I don't know if you're seeing it, but like I'm not even, any motion you make where you hold the arm, which is natural, you're gonna grab the arms. It just, look at this. That is not a lot of pressure. That's crazy. Like that shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be. Don't get me wrong. First world problems, right? Oh, it moved. Okay, move it back. But like when you're in your car, you get in your car, you set your car settings, the seat to where you want it and the way you're gonna drive. When you go to like the car wash or you have your car detailed or you bring it in for a mechanical inspection and they screw with all your settings and then you got to put it back to the way you want it, doesn't that drive you crazy? Because those are your settings. This is something that you're going to be using every day and you want it to be the way you want it to be. And unfortunately, these arms are just unacceptable between the looseness at every single height level and the looseness of the 4D armrests and just the way that they just, and the uncomfortableness on your elbows. So for me, the biggest reason why I'm going to be returning it is the arms. The arms are just, this whole thing of getting up and then sliding and then like, it hurts your wrist, not to mention like being annoying. It starts to hurt after a while. Like if you're, it's like grabbing something, expecting it to be sturdy, and you're subconsciously gonna do this over and over again. You're not gonna learn. And you're gonna continue to do that. You're gonna like throw yourself backwards. And I've done it a bunch of times. I'm not making this up. I'm not an idiot. I'm just a normal human who likes to use my armrests to get leverage. And it's just because they're so loose, even if you don't put leverage on them, they just, they bother the crap out of me. And then this headrest, while it is better than no headrest, it is just so uncomfortable. And I cannot see it lasting very long with the stitching in this material, especially because like all the oil from your head. They should have made it leather. They should have. They missed a really good opportunity there. Let's sum this up. This texture, this fabric, I like a lot more than the digital knit. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention in that with the digital knit is that if you have a cat, be careful. The cat like smelled the digital knit and was like, this is a scratching post. I was very lucky that I could get them away before it was unreturnable. So just keep that in mind. The digital knit is a cat magnet. Not for the fur, but for like, I'm going to shred this. It's just, it literally feels to them, I guess, like a cat scratching post. So be careful. Yeah, this is something I wasn't expecting. I really like the lean on this. I really like the leaning back. I actually was consuming some media the other day and I just loosened that up a bit, and man, with the no lumbar and the nice mesh back and the beautiful leather seat and my nice little soft padding arms here, ooh, this was a nice experience. Even with the headrest, like, I mean, as much as I don't like it, as much as I would like to like it, it still holds my head, and it's comfortable to just be here and chilling watching a movie. So bravo to the leaning mechanics of this seat. It is, I'm not a rocker, but I could definitely get into it. Yeah, I will say that is something that is also good about this. So, what is the conclusion that we have found from this, and why am I not keeping it? Look, if I'm going to pay, even on sale, $1,100 for a chair, I feel like all pieces of that chair should come together, not necessarily in a this feels perfect kind of way. All the details in the manufacturing aspect of it should be solid. And I don't feel like they are, with the back feeling a little bit loose, with the arms being very loose, with the adjustments on the arms being extremely loose. I just don't see that being okay in the long run. Now, if you don't mind those things, I think that the Xbox, if you like the digital mesh background, and the Halo, if you like the mesh backrest, are the options you should pick. I don't think you should be getting the other ones because of the leather seat. The leather seat really brings this thing together. I'm so comfortable on this, and yes, it does retain a little bit of heat, but in like a comfortable way. I don't know how to explain it. This seat, if I could put this seat on my Herman Miller and have my Herman Miller back, it would be the perfect chair for me. Literally, this cushion with this leather on my Herman Miller would be perfect. It would be the perfect chair combo. So, yeah, I'm a little sad because I actually really like the look of this. I like the accents. I like the gold accents. I like the green. I love the patch for, you know, Master Chief. I even like the stupid number on the front, but I do wish that this was leather. I wish that this wasn't so floppy, like it's just a little bit floppy, so that back plastic you can feel. I wish that you didn't really feel the side plastic as much. I wish they would have padded that a little better. I wish the arms were not just ridiculously loose in this 4D configuration. And I wish they didn't shake so much, and that just like, you really do feel it when you're sitting. You feel it so much. The base is solid. The wheels move around my carpet fine. The metal is fantastic. I mean, you're getting a lot of things with this version. And if you get this one on sale, man, you're getting a pretty good deal. $1,100? Yeah, $1,100. 20% off right now for this particular chair versus it being $1,990 or $1,550, you know, or whatever. It's not a bad deal. So if the things that I'm mentioning, and you don't mind getting a couple of upgraded accessories, you know, these are $10, so what? This could be really good. I am not 100% against recommending this chair anymore. And again, like I said when I was doing this and this whole journey, is that chairs are so subjective. I think chairs are the most subjective thing, which is probably why people get, like in the comments, they get really, it's really personal. You know, oh my, but I like the chair. That is great. I'm so glad that you found a chair that works for you. Chairs are so subjective, and man, I love it. Even right now, sitting on this with my leg up, I love the seat. I love the way it feels. It's not something I wouldn't recommend. I'm just hoping that there's something a little better out there. And we do have the Leap 2 coming in from Crandall offices, and so we're gonna try that out. I think that the Leap 2 may be built a little bit sturdier. I think the arms are gonna be a little sturdier. I feel like the seat is gonna have that nice, I don't know, like I like to be kind of held, you know, like I like it to curve a little bit with my body. I think the back is gonna hug me a little bit more, which I like. And yeah, I also like when you lean back on the Leap 2, the armrests don't go up, so you never really hit your desk if you lean back at it. So there are a couple things of that chair that have me very interested, but with this configuration, with what you're getting, the aluminum base, the upgrades, the forward, you know, the forward tilt, the back, the nice, the headrest, it's just, for what Haworth offers in Haworth's lineup, and especially in the Fern, especially with a 20% discount, I would have no problem recommending the Halo or the Xbox version of the Fern. I think that they're the best deals you can get, the best for your money. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Again, chairs are very subjective. Luckily, Haworth has an amazing customer service. That's one thing, man, if the chair was as meticulously awesome as the customer service, because I had some shipping issues with mine, and they took care of everything. They were really good about it. Then I think the chair would just be in such a better spot. But like, they have really good customer service. They're very nice. They're very kind. They follow up with you. They're very helpful. They answer all your questions. So if you have a chance, try it and see if it works for you. Maybe you can overlook some of the stuff that I cannot, because I think you'll get a good chair, especially if there's this sale right now. But I would, not on sale. This is still the cheaper option with the most upgrades, you know? So maybe still, but it's up to you. It's your money. I think that without the sale, the Fern itself, I feel like it has one too many manufacturing flaws that I just can't quite get over to recommend it at full price. But on sale, we're really starting to get to a very nice place. And yeah, so that is my complete subjective review of the Haworth Fern Halo Edition. And I hope that was helpful. And if you haven't seen the other video I made on the Haworth Fern with the digital knit back and the fabric seat, check out that video. It was a completely different experience, which just goes to show how subjective these chairs really are. Not to mention, I really think it looks nice. A lot of people don't like the green for some reason, and they think it's kitschy because it's called a gaming chair. But honestly, like, I'm not even like a super Halo fan, and I just think it looks nice with my setup. I think it just fits. So, yeah. I hope this was helpful. Again, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like, subscribe, bell icon. Also, throw down a comment. Let's chat about chairs. Are you on a journey? Are you going to be on a journey? Why are you watching this review? Hopefully we can chat more, and I'll see you in the next video.